What comes to mind when you think of panic? Like, just think about it for a minute. Is that bill you forgot that you suddenly remembered? Is it that card payment you should have sent in? Is it, not hearing from your sibling, not hearing from your spouse, not hearing from your children or parents for some time and wondering what's going on? Like, in this current cultural experience, like, some of us, we have family members that are far away and we can't just get up in our vehicles and go and visit them or some of us, we could get in a vehicle and drive a little ways and do a drive-by, honk on the horn, like, try to figure out what's going on. But, like, sometimes it can be scary. Like, we get a panic moments. Like, we didn't hear from our kids, or this app that we use, my family uses on our phone called Life 360, and this Life 360 keeps global positioning of whoever has a phone and has it on. I know that seems a little like a helicopter parent. Don't judge me. I don't care. Like, I'm not a helicopter parent. I'm an Apache. I'm always watching. Sorry, that seems a bit ridiculous. Grace, I don't know if you're watching this, but I'm sorry. Liberty, I don't know if you're watching this, but I'm sorry. Anyway, now I'm panicked that I'm going to make somebody offended. Anyhow, but seriously, you ever have panic moments? Like where you're just, overwhelmed? And it's difficult for us to recognize this, but, sometimes panic breaches an initial experience. Panic can be something that sets in a moment. Panic that's manifested in a moment can begin to exist in a more regular experience. Panic goes along with anxiety. When we think of panic, we also can think of anxiety, because panic it manifests itself in a moment, and that manifestation of itself in a moment begins, it could be a seed in our life that begins to evolve into something more secured in our life, something that has rooted itself in our life, and we can begin to experience anxiety. Psalm 135 tells us, in the New Living Translation, it tells us that I trust in the Lord, or that you put your confidence in the Lord, that you trust in His work, that you trust what He's going to do, that you have faith in what He's going to do. Some translations say, I wait upon the Lord, and that seems like you're going to have to wait for Him, but it's like, hold on, wait a minute, before I start moving forward, before this panic begins to push me forward and throw me into situations that I shouldn't have been thrown in, or throw me into circumstances I shouldn't have been thrown into, but before panic makes me make silly, dumb, abrupt decisions, before my panic it takes over and causes me to do something spontaneous but reckless, I gotta wait a minute. I gotta pause for a minute. I gotta say, okay, I have confidence in God. I have confidence in what He's going to do. I have confidence in the Word. I have confidence in what I've read. And I'm going to believe and I'm going to trust that He's going to come through. I'm going to believe and I'm going to trust that He's going to work it out. I'm going to believe and I'm going to trust that He's going to do something so exceptional, so incredible, so amazing in my life. Wait. Pause for a minute. Caution yourself from just jumping out there and doing something. Caution yourself from just going for it. Caution yourself from just saying, okay, I'm scared, I'm nervous, I'm panicking, I gotta do something about it, I've gotta go somewhere, I've gotta be somebody, I've gotta accomplish something, and then you rush out there and you make a disastrous situation in your life, when all the time you should have been like, okay, I'm gonna wait a second, I'm gonna pause a second, I'm gonna calm myself for a second, I'm gonna say, okay, all right, let me think of this for a minute. Let me think about this for a minute. Let me dwell on this for a minute. Let me focus on what God has to say. Let me focus on what the Scripture says. Let me focus on His love. Let me focus on His intent in my life. I've often thought about this, when panic just rushes into our mind and anxiety, we need to fill our thoughts with something else. Fixate your attention on an attribute of God. Just pick an attribute. Think of His perfect love. Think of His forgiveness. Think of His sacrifice through His Son Jesus. Think about His promise to never leave us. Think about His promise for us to experience joy. Think about those things for a minute. When that panic and anxiety sets in, begin to think about the things that He's promised. Begin to think about who He is. Think about His character. Think about who He wants us to be. Think about it for just a minute and begin to experience the transition from panic to hope. Free yourself of it.